So the last 2 days I was a total degenerate. Like, this is what happened the last few days. I did not sleep the entire night pretty much. Maybe like 2 or 3 hours of sleep. And I was scrolling through social media, TikTok, consuming short form content, things that were giving me instant gratification. And I was watching degenerate shit, like broke my 6-month long no-fap streak and completely broke my dopamine detox protocol that I had been adhering to for the past 5 or 6 months. And I consumed this shit ton of garbage food. In short, I did like the exact opposite of the things that I preach on this channel. Hey, instant gratification is bad. Go for pursue delayed gratification. And I thought to myself, do I really need to come out here and just confess all these things and let people know that I'm a bit of a hypocrite? Or should I just continue making these videos on productivity, some new productivity hack, and continue preaching against instant gratification? But I just couldn't do that. I felt like a fraud. Like I was just lying through my teeth. I was being a hypocrite. And the videos that I would make from that point onwards would not have that same value in them. They would not have that same passion in them. That was the summary of my life for the last 2 days. They were not good. So why did this happen exactly? So each time I fall into this loop of degeneracy, I tend to sit back and analyze the events that led to that thing happening, or what was the root cause of that happening. And I analyze it as follows. Like, firstly, my YouTube channel was doing really good, well, relatively good, because I went from 75 subscribers to 480 subscribers in a matter of 2 weeks or something. And that was like absurd growth for me. Like, I quadrupled my channel growth. So that made me kind of content. I felt kind of good. Yeah, things are going really well. That led me to lift my foot off the pedal a bit. Additionally, I now started living with my family. Now, don't get me wrong, there are a bunch of advantages to living with your family or with your family members around you, but there is one disadvantage. Like, they do not understand carnivore diet or how stringent I am about my sleep schedule, etc., etc. All these things. To them, it's like, this is a bit too excessive. So that led me to cut corners a few times. Like, I was offered something to eat from a relative who's close to me, and I just couldn't say no. And I ate that thing, felt a bit groggy, okay, missed an hour of sleep, went to bed a bit later. I had started to cut corners, and I was like, it's fine, I can cut a few corners here and there. Things are still good. Over time, those things caught up to me, and I started seeking more and more instant gratification. And in the last 2 days, I just slept, went in like self-destruction mode. Like, with me, it's like all or nothing. It's always all or nothing. So I went in self-destruction mode the last 2 days and pretty much undid a lot of the progress that I had made in multiple domains of life. I lost control of my mind. So why did I go bald? Whenever I go bald, I feel highly, highly disciplined. I feel like a monk. I feel like a disciplined soldier, like someone who's training, someone who's a student of life once again. And I needed to humble myself. I needed to get back to my roots. I needed to become a student of the game once again. I needed to conquer my mind once again. I needed to declare a war against instant gratification once again. Because somewhere down the line, I thought of myself as someone who's too good to be reminded these things. Like, I have mastered the game. I became content. I kind of became like, I'm above all this now. I need to just focus on business and not necessarily focus on rejecting instant gratification. But, well, I was humbled. I realized that even I could fall into this trap of instant gratification, and I needed to have my guard up. There's this book called Atomic Habits by James Clear, and in this book he talks a lot about identity and how the identity of a person dictates his behaviors and habits. So whenever I go bald, I have a very different identity. I have the identity of a very disciplined person. Like, I'm part of the military now. I do things on time. I'm very, very disciplined. I am in control of my body. Whenever I fall into this trap of instant gratification, the first thing that I do is like get rid of my hair. I change my identity completely. I disassociate with that old Jibreal who did all that degenerate stuff, and I become Jibreal 2.0. This very, very highly disciplined, ugly looking guy. That is what I become. Another principle in this book, Atomic Habits, is about making a big statement. You make a big statement before you pursue something. So for me, when I'm pursuing, let's say, another dopamine detox protocol, which is pretty intense, giving up all my desires for instant gratification, I tend to go bald. I like cut my hair off. Like, this is the big statement that I'm making. I'm like giving up my hair, I'm giving up my looks, I'm giving up something that has been a part of me for so long in order to pursue this goal. It's a reminder that, hey, I've committed to this goal, I've invested a lot in this goal, and I just can't back out now. So this is another tool that I will use now during this journey. The last time my dopamine detox lasted 5 months and I became content. I was like, I got this shit. It's in the bag now. It's part of me. It's my second nature. I'm never going to fall into degeneracy again. I was wrong. This time I've decided that I'm not going to grow my hair for at least the next 1 year until I've totally mastered my mind, until I've totally mastered myself, until I'm completely in control of myself. And even after that 1 year, I'm now going to have my guard up. I'm not going to be discontent. So you guys can hold me accountable of this. In some video, if you see my hair growing, you can call me out. I promise you, I'm not growing my hair for the next 1 year. My parents might, my parents might question this decision. My loved ones might question this decision. My friends might call me an egghead or whatever. But this is something that I have to do for myself. There are a bunch of other things that I do once I fall into degeneracy. Going bald is just one of them. I have a really intense fasting protocol. What I typically do is do a bunch of long, hard fasts separated by some recovery period. And that tends to really rewire my brain and rejuvenate me, detoxify my body, and restore my willpower. It puts me back in the driver's seat. It tells me, hey Jibreal, you can resist food and water for so long. You got this shit. Instant gratification means nothing. This region of the brain that is responsible for willpower, and it literally physically grows when you do things that you don't really want to do, or when you resist things that you really want to do. Like, check out Andrew Huberman's podcast on this. And nothing grows your willpower more than fasting. Every time I fall into degeneracy, slip, break my nofap streak, or do some form of stuff that I shouldn't be doing, the first thing that I do is follow it up with fast. I rebuild myself, rebuild the foundation. So in the next couple of videos, that's what I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you how I crawl back from the depths of hell, from ground zero all the way back to a very, very highly productive level. And maybe these videos help someone who's stuck in a similar position. Yeah, man, I just couldn't put this facade of me being Mr. Perfect and preaching others about these things, while I myself fell in this shithole of instant gratification. So that's about it, folks. That is what happened in the past 2 days. And now my climb from hell begins.